What is up, members of my collector corps? It is I, Super Mariozilla, or you could call me Vinny, and today we will be taking a look at the S.H.Figuarts Super Saiyan Goku Legendary Super Saiyan. When this figure was revealed, Bandai hyped it up as pretty much the next evolution for the Figuarts Dragon Ball line, even though I thought the evolution came with the Super Saiyan 4 Goku figure. Either way, fans including myself were excited. The figure really looks next level. The sculpt looked phenomenal. Some of the articulation got updates, even if it's nothing major. Paint looked stellar. Accessories looked to be a lot of fun. The figure was revealed to be a general release and clocks in with an MSRP of $70. Little higher than normal, but that's not a big deal. If the figure was good, then the MSRP would have not been a problem. So this was a recipe to be an awesome figure. Unfortunately, when the final product is served after months of anticipation, quality control struck and the figure fell flat in a couple of aspects. So does the figure still live up to the hype, or did this end up being an overhyped mess? Let's not waste any more time and see if this figure is worthy of a spot on your Dragon Ball Z shelf. So sculpt-wise, Goku looks fantastic. All the little details he sports look great. His hair sculpt is my favorite part of the figure. It really is on point, and even sports a little bit of shading. Some folks have stated issues with the anatomy, but it doesn't look bad at all to my eye, honestly. Paint, on the other hand, I'll be honest, does fall apart in two places. First, the discolored torso. Unacceptable. I don't care if it's not easy to see under certain lighting, this should not be here, period. And it was the first thing I noticed when taking the figure out of the package. That's really disappointing and is an eyesore because once you see it, you can't unsee it. Also, the paint on the pants. Gorgeous shading work on the front, it looks killer. I love that. What I don't love is while there's paint on the front of the legs, there's no paint at all on the back of them. Yep, it's painted just like a modern day Bandai vinyl. That's really dumb. This is a $70 product, not a $25 vinyl piece. Now the torso and the legs are my only negatives. As I said earlier, the sculpt is really good. I think it's excellent. Goku's facial details are great and he resembles how he looked in the anime during his fight with 100% form Frieza. And I love the muscle definition. It's really good and definitely an upgrade from Warrior Awakened Super Saiyan Goku. He even sports a bunch of bruised details. That's nice, but I wish they were painted. Otherwise, it's a nice detail to have since Goku went through a lot during his fight with Frieza. The torn details on the clothes are another favorite part for me on the figure. They look so good and flow perfectly with each other. Even the clothes sport some of the bruised details. Not one detail was missed on this figure sculpt-wise. It's really good stuff. Overall, I think Goku looks good. He doesn't look bad at all, but his paint problems do hold him back a little bit. I'll admit, I can forgive the lack of paint on the back, but the discolored torso really angered me when I saw it in hand. Like, they really allowed that to go through and nobody noticed? It's not as bad as other figures with discolored limbs, but that doesn't make it any easier to look at. So yes, he looks great sculpt-wise. But paint-wise, he needed to be double-checked.
Goku's articulation is great. I think it is fantastic. But kind of people and even Bandai kind of overhyped it. The articulation is no different than, say, Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Like, yeah, it's great stuff, but is it as good as they've been leading it on to be? Let's find out. Head is on a double ball peg, and the neck is on a ball joint, so he can look this high up, can look this far down, can look side to side, and lean. Ball jointed shoulders. There's a bit of a butterfly joint movement. Can wiggle around, rotate, and can hinge upwards way more than 90 degrees, so that is fantastic. Biceps can swivel. Double hinged elbows, can move just about all the way, so that's pretty good. Ball hinged wrists. There's a ball joint here and here, so he can crunch forward Or his torso can pop off, you know. So he can crunch forward just about this far, and he can crunch backward just about this far, so that's pretty good. This part of the belt is on a swivel. Legs can kick upward pretty high, but basically can kick that far forward. Backward, not so much. Splits, can he do splits? Just about can. Thighs can swivel. We have double hinged knees, and they go just about all the way, so that's pretty good. And these weird ball hinged ankles that work really well. Can kick this far back, this far forward. You just need to adjust them. And the ankle rocker is really good. Like, that is pretty good. And toes are on a hinge. So Goku's articulation is great. You can get quite a number of poses out of him. It is super fun to mess around with this figure, but it's not quite as hyped up or good as they've been leading it on to be, because, you know, again, it doesn't feel any different from the other 3.0 figures like Super Saiyan 4 Goku, just as a prime example. So, yeah. It not quite as good as everybody's been leading it on to be, but still great stuff.
Goku comes with a lot of stuff he needs and then some. It's really cool how much stuff was included here, and I'm overall pleased with the whole package. First, he has an alternate front hair piece to make it look like some of his hair is being blown backwards. Pretty cool that this was included. A completely different hair sculpt meant to recreate the scene where he screams, "Are you talking about Krillin?" However, all the faces are universal with both hair sculpts. I'll show you what all the faces look like with each hair option. First is the neutral stern face. Next, a smirking face. An angry, teeth-gritted face. And finally, a screaming, yelling face. All the faces look great, especially the yelling face. For the hands, he comes with 2 fist hands, 2 martial arts fighting stance hands, another set of different posed fighting stance hands, 2 Kamehameha hands, 2 open blast effect hands, and finally, 2 Kamehameha hands with pegs on the hands for the Kamehameha effect. Here it is, and it looks awesome. The one that came with Orange Piccolo looks great, but this one also looks pretty good. It's more of a crystal blue with a frosted white on this one. To assemble, it is easy. Each stick has a different shaped peg. You gotta find the right shaped hole in the ball to stick the sticks into. It's kind of like doing a puzzle. Once assembled, it has a peg hole. This is for any of the Kamehameha hands with pegs. Only one is needed. And this looks really good when put together. It is beautiful. So Goku did not get the short end of the stick with accessories at all. It's a great package all around, so I'm definitely happy with the stuff we got with him. If you get the figure, you'll have plenty of posing and display options. Here's a size comparison with other figures you may or may not own. Goku looks good with other figures, so displaying him alongside other characters should not be a problem. Keep in mind Goku's height in the anime and manga can vary depending on the artist, but generally he's around this size anyway, so displaying him shouldn't be a problem for you. So I think Goku is a good figure, but does have questionable problems that do hold him back from being figure of the year material for me. I'm sorry, but the discolored torso really does bother me no matter how subtle it may look in certain situations. It's just something that really should not be there, especially when so much hype was around the figure. And the lack of paint on the back of the legs, for $70 that's just flat out inexcusable. This figure should have been at least $60 instead. Don't misunderstand me, pay attention now. I'm not saying the figure is bad. In some aspects, it falls flat, but overall the figure is still really good. I'm just saying the problems he has being a pretty hyped figure should not be there at all. I love the sculpt, the articulation, the accessories, and where the paint is done right, I really like it. Diehard fan of Dragon Ball Z or fan of Goku? Then yeah, I'd say go for it. But if the issues do bother you, I recommend waiting for a sale on this figure, in case the MSRP with the issues ends up being hard to swallow. I don't regret my purchase, but I still came out a little bit bummed when I saw the discolored torso. I still love the figure, but as a reviewer, I got to make these things clear for all of you so you know what you're getting into. I'll give the figure an 8 out of 10.